Sudden account bans have been reported recently, lots of new bugs have emerged, and players are quite upset at Bethesda. Well, at least there are lots of new Brotherhood encounters. It's news time. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. I've got plenty of news for you once again, and sadly they're not the best, well, for the most part at least. There are many rising issues such as mysterious account bans, lots of new minor and major bugs, and then there's the fact that players are really upset at Bethesda because they are slowly turning Fallout 76 into a mobile game. And that is not a reason to be happy about. Anyway, on the good side, there is a double score event going on, the new PTS Pennants are now live, the Forbidden Knowledge should return soon enough, and well, there are over 10 new Brotherhood of Steel encounters to explore. Let's get into what matters, shall we? A few days ago, I saw a post on Reddit where a player claims he got banned for no reason at all. He said he has been playing since the release days and never had any issues until now, where Bethesda claims to have proof of cheating and duplicating but refused to provide any proof to back up their accusations. Well, I must say that's normal. Companies always protect their main sources and they never share player reports to other players. So if there is indeed proof here, it would never be sent to him. Either way, I think this is another case of a player who either purchased hacked items or picked up duped items from a friend. It could perfectly happen. You play legit, but you picked up the wrong items, which you are not supposed to have. Most of the times nothing really happens, but every now and then Bethesda pulls the ban hammer against such accounts. Moving forward, this event is not isolated. I decided to look into the matter and I found about a dozen more reports of sudden and mysterious bans, where everyone claims to be innocent. Again, that's not new. Anyone who makes a dispute on a ban will obviously claim innocence. Anyway, what's surprising here though is that most of these banned players claim they have been inactive for a while and now they decided to return for the Still Dawn DLC just to find out their accounts have been banned. All the accusations from Bethesda seem to be cheating, so again, I am assuming all these banned accounts had items they were not supposed to have. Or there is a second option, there's some sort of hacking wave going on, you know, where the hackers manage to crack the account's passwords and then proceed to use them for cheating and duping purposes, while the real owner is inactive and unaware of what's really going on. That's entirely possible too. After such incidents, I think it might not be a bad idea to change your account's passwords, guys. Who knows, maybe there was a security breach, it's not like we would know about it unless it was a really major one, so I think it's a wise decision, better safer than sorry. The next news is about how upset players are about the path Fallout 76 is taking. This is not exactly new, thousands of players have been complaining about how Bethesda is slowly turning 76 into a mobile game, ever since the Wastelanders DLC was released. All the daily limits, the constant random elements, and the forced grinding with almost impossible drop rates, plus all the new items including utility ones, all blocked or locked behind paywalls. But after the Still Dawn release, this topic emerged once again, and with a good reason. I mean, the latest DLC just brought even more mobile sort of features, such as the new daily ops plans with about 1% chance to drop, and the dreadful system to obtain the new Brotherhood gear as legendary versions. Now, with the Fallout Shelter system, they are releasing new shelters and dozens of new items, with incredibly high prices too. It's like they're trying to monetize the game as much as possible before the game's life cycle ends, which is exactly what most mobile games focus on. Now, the fact that Bethesda just ignores issues like this is quite disappointing, to say the least. This is an ongoing issue for months now, and so far Bethesda hasn't really said a word. They actually prefer to address minor issues or even comment on fan art than to actually acknowledge this is a major issue and it shouldn't be ignored, because in the end it's upsetting thousands of players and leading some of them to make breaks or to quit completely, never to come back. I can't say I disagree with this topic. The daily limits should be much larger. Actually, I think weekly limits would make more sense. Also, the legendary system needs to change. The Wastelanders model to use legendary modules to craft gear, as long as you had the plan, it was perfect. So I'm not sure why did Bethesda went back and ditched that model to add this dreadful one in the new DLC, where basically no one can get the gear they want as legendaries. Anyhow, I could talk about this topic for a long while. I've got a lot to say, so let's wrap it here and move along for the sake of this news. Now, let's switch to something positive. Did you know there's at least 50 new random encounters for the Brotherhood of Steel added with the Steel Dawn DLC? Yep, that's right. I'm not sure every single one of them is live, but most, yes, they are. I have found some of them already, such as the Brotherhood Bandits, Barry, Barnaby, and Buck, as well as Brotherhood initiates fighting super mutants. I've also got a report about the Brotherhood Scribe who asks you for tech, which confirms it's live as well. Now, according to the data miners, there's a lot more, as you can see in this list, including knights and even a mother and son from the Brotherhood. And they can all spawn in different encounter spots and in different regions too. That's why most of them are so difficult to come across. I'm considering to look for most of them to show you guys. It sounds intriguing and I like to explore. You all seem to want the same thing too, according to this pool I started hours ago. So hold on a day or two and I will show you the results. Something else I have noticed lately is how a lot of players got quite disappointed by the Steel Dawn DLC, not in terms of quality, but in terms of length. In other words, the majority of the players enjoyed the new questline. They think the story, narrative, characters, and events are great, but they found it to be way too short for a DLC. I must say, I think and feel the same way. The new DLC was surprisingly good in terms of story and immersion, but the 9 new quests are a bit too short. The entire questline lasts around 2 to 3 hours depending on how long you spend exploring each new location and the dialogue options too. I think a couple of gameplay hours for a brand new DLC is not very adequate, but hey, that's just my humble opinion. I know there's more into it, like the endless daily ops grinding for the 1% plans, but that's just a badly executed strategy in my opinion, just to artificially make players think there's a lot more content when in reality it's just forced grind based on RNG elements. I just went deep there, didn't I? Anyway, on the bright side, there are more quests on the way coming in 2021, yes, for the Brotherhood of Steel, so let's see what else is Bethesda going to deliver in the following months. Alright, the Forbidden Knowledge has been disabled for almost 2 months now, and players have been wondering if it will ever come back at all. Well, apparently it will return this year still, surprisingly. In a recent Reddit post, Bethesda said the fix they have been working on is taking a little bit longer than expected, but this daily mission should be back online in the following couple of weeks, which means you should be able to see it again before the end of the year. Also, let me remind you that you can now deliver technical data to Scribe Valdez as well, but the Forbidden Knowledge quest has to be activated first for the dialogue option to show. I did it quite sometimes on the public test server, that's how I know about this one. The Fourth Venture stash will remain active, by the way. This is just an alternative way to complete this daily, which makes a lot of sense. You know, knowledge, scribes, it's basically what they do, archiving data. So there you go. If you haven't completed Season 2 yet, do not despair. Bethesda enabled the double score event until December 8, which means you can now gain twice the score from any daily or weekly challenge you complete. That's amazing, and that could be your final push to unlock everything before December 15, which is when Season 2 ends and Season 3 starts. Yep, everything in the same day. I know the grind is not very pleasant, but nobody knows if these items or most of them will ever return again, so best to unlock them all while you still can. Another great news is the fact that Bethesda finally enabled the new public test server Pennants. The PTS has been closed since November 25, but now, about 10 days later, we got to see the new rewards for meeting the shelter test requirements. The two new items can be found under wall decor, and they are very similar to the existing Pennants. Actually, it's like a copy-paste item. The only difference is that instead of a Vault Boy, we now have the Vault Girl. Here's a side-by-side comparison so you guys can see exactly what I mean. Still, it's a great thing that Bethesda rewards players for helping testing things out. I mean, they could simply give nothing, right? Something is always better than nothing, at least I think so. Now it's time to move on to new bugs, heavy ones actually. I discovered at least a dozen of them in the past 2-3 days, but I selected only the worst or heavier ones, let's put it that way. First of all, we have a new daily ops issue where players don't get a reward reset every 24 hours, which prevents them from unlocking any new rewards the next day. Now, this bug is not exactly new, it's just quite rare. I had this one a couple of times some months ago when Daily Ops was first released, but never again. I did Daily Ops for 3 days in a row and no rewards were unlocked. I still remember it very vividly actually. So I know as a matter of fact that this bug exists, it just doesn't happen that often. Anyway, it just tells you none when you get into the rewards scoreboard in case you are wondering what happens with the bug. Meanwhile, Bethesda said they are working on a fix for this issue already. Also, if it says nothing, like in here, this is another type of bug, and it means you actually unlocked something, but it's not displaying in the board. It's a visual bug, so make sure to check your notes tab to see what plan you got. I hope this clarifies the difference between the two bugs. Moreover, some players think Bethesda should always ensure we get a new plan every time we finish the Elder mode to avoid rolling nothing, which is a possibility in case you didn't know. It's rare, but it can happen. What do you think about this suggestion? I think it's a pretty good one. The home expansion mission seems to have its share of issues as well. Recently, several players reported that their shelter's mission is not really unlocking the vault utility room for them as part of the mission rewards. They claim the shelters tab doesn't even show up in their building mode. Ouch, that's a really heavy bug. For now, there is no fix or turn around this, but as I said, they are investigating the issue just like in Daily Ops, so hopefully they will manage to unlock the shelter system to everyone who has completed the home expansion mission, but sadly got bugged and got no access to the free shelter at this point. Continuing with Fallout shelters, there is a persistent bug that is blocking players from building their floors. If you try to place a floor piece at the very edge, this will happen. The floor will go inside the very edge of the instance and bug out. You cannot even see the floor itself on where you placed it originally. Thankfully, there is a trick to place floors inside shelters, as I have mentioned in past videos. All you have to do is start from the center. I know your floor will probably get crooked somewhere, but hey, it's better than no floor at all, isn't it? I used this trick in my utility room and I covered everything besides the very metal edges, so it can work really well actually, if you place the centerpieces as straight as possible. Bethesda also said they're working on a solution for this bug. Meanwhile, I highly recommend you to use this trick as a temporary fix. What else is bugged inside shelters? Well, a lot of things, but this next bug is about a mysterious distress signal from Morgantown. Sometimes you can hear it inside your shelter, like it's coming from behind the wall. I had it once myself, but I also had music on, so it's not very perceptible. Anyhow, I found this player report which shows the bug in perfection. Yes, it's in German, but it's clear proof it exists. Check it out. Yeah, this is a really weird one, I can tell you that much. Bethesda is investigating the origin of this bug as well, and thankfully it's not a very common one, so don't worry, Morgantown won't call you very often, just every now and then until it's fixed. Have you noticed something strange with your glass walls or glass items altogether? Well, I surely did. That's because with update 24, Bethesda did something to the glass as a material. Before it was rather clear, now the glass is kinda dirty or foggy, the texture is slightly different than before and you can really notice it. If you use different lights, it's even more noticeable. In here, this player did a couple of tests and the difference is abysmal. First we have a sample before the update with lights on, then after the update with the same lights and then without lights. Can you see the difference side by side before the patch and after the patch? Same lights. It's like there's fog or humidity on the wall. About this bug, Bethesda hasn't said much yet. Maybe it was an intended change. I mean, it's the wasteland after all, so it makes sense to have dirty glass. It needs a lot of cleaning for a glass wall to be transparent as it used to be, so I think this change is here to stay. But who knows, maybe it's a bug and it will get fixed in its due time. Well, the random bug for this news is the super mutant dog which spawned outside of the daily ops instance. Yep, sadly I was not recording, but I did take a screenshot. We were looking for the remaining enemy everywhere and then I decided to use photo mode behind my back and I spotted this silly one stuck there in the limbo, not moving at all, just existing and preventing us from finishing the operation. So that's another bug for the list of things Bethesda needs to fix in the future. Alright y'all, that's going to be everything for this one. Do let me tell you that you should expect less videos this month because I am organizing some special panels for my charity stream happening later this month for the Fallout for Hope project. Stay tuned for more news. I will be releasing the banners with the dates and more details very soon. Well, now it's time to say goodbye. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe to help YouTube know you enjoyed the content, and as usual, thank you to all my patrons and members for their amazing extra support. You guys rock. Now I will see you all very soon in the next one. Until then, take care. Adeus. Bye bye.